If we don't keep it alive, it will repeat. And my mother said, you better preserve it, research, authenticate, document, and tell the truth. And that's what I do. I tell the truth. The Real Rosewood Foundation is a foundation that I established in 2003 at the request of my mother. My mother was the sister to the Rosewood school teacher who taught school in Levy County, Rosewood from 1915 to 1923, a survivor. She experienced hatred and violence from the KKK that invaded Rosewood in 1923.
She has the true story. People would not have talked about Rosewood. The story is all about these two people. That's what makes Rosewood what it is today, because of what happened to her aunt and uncle. People want to know, especially if they know she put all these years into it, how we can grow to love each other more from it. There's no hatred involved in this at all.
She came home, which is here where we are now. She walked in the house, straight to the bedroom. Mom said, fell across the bed and started crying. And she cried and cried and cried. However, when she was able or strong enough to tell my mom the story, she told it to my mom. She was too embarrassed to tell it to her parents because she had been gang raped in 1943. My mother said to her 4 children, Mama's gonna tell you sister's story about the Rosewood massacre. And I knew it was dangerous and serious. So Mom sat there and just poured her heart out, telling us all of the bad things that happened to her sister. But that story became a part of my life. I would remind her, Mom, I want to hear that story. And eventually we would talk about it. I took that story to college with me, and it just became my life.
Every trip she made, I was in on it. If I wasn't hauling material to set up a stand, I was driving my own truck, renting the stuff to carry down there. And I encourage her every day. I say, I got your back.
My first foundation was I Too Lived Rosewood. That was the name of it in 1999. I have spoken 29 times at the University of Florida. And one day I spoke to a professor of that class. He said, I felt just like I was there from that time period. He said, have you ever thought about changing the name of your foundation to the Real Rosewood Foundation? Because your information was so real.
Well, she's doing a great thing. She's keeping it going. Like I say, make sure this don't happen no more. It's really important because it kind of touches down deep in your heart. You got to keep the young kids educated on it. Let them do what they got to do.
They treated black people worse because the color of their skin. My Auntie Lizzie told me the story about Rosewood and how she lived through it and her mom lived through it. It's an important history.
Lizzie's Rosewood Race. This book is about me when I was a child. It brings tears to my eyes. And I think every child, black or white child, should have a copy of that book.
Parts of like history classes in school, we only stay on that topic for like a day or something because it's so small. They pass right over it. I think you should support the Rosewood Foundation because it is a trusting foundation. It's a loving foundation. After she's gone, we still need to be here and keep talking about it. So it's only getting bigger from here.
And these are the kids that will be able to work with other kids their age and carry this information on. All of the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I want to show you the ugly. My chair of the board, Jordan Marlowe, he met a professor from the University of Florida, Dr. Elizabeth Washington. Jordan said to me one day, how would you like to meet Dr. Elizabeth Washington? And maybe she would be interested in writing a Rosewood curriculum for Rosewood. I said, very interested. It is happening as we speak. And we're going to hopefully put that book and make it available for the teachers. History is who we are, and without history, we are nothing. It's for the children.
There's so much racism still out there, you know. Just cause, you know, we don't come a long ways, but it still seems like we're going backwards as well. To see that my people went through this type of stuff just to live. Sometimes it could change just like that, but you know, hopefully we don't have to go back again.
I just launched a podcast called Queen Lizzie's Podcast, and it will air on Thursdays at 2 p.m. weekly.
Duke Energy is one of the sponsors for Rosewood Museum, and we have provided funds over the past couple of years. We're just excited to be a part of it. It's important for us to preserve the history of Alachua County and Levy County. And I believe that this museum that's going to be built is going to be vital to doing that. The house that was donated to the Real Rosewood Foundation is what's going to be a part of the museum.
And the husband, he said, Hannah and I have decided to donate the house to you, the John Wright house. I almost fell out of my chair, and the others too. We decided to bring it here to Archer and make it a museum. You can go to my website, rosewoodflorida.com. Click on the donate button. It will take you to donate to move John Wright's house. We are going to shelter that house the same as John and Mary Wright sheltered the Rosewood survivors before they left Rosewood. We're going to take care of that house.
I think it would be good if they help her with this museum, support her with Rosewood. It's not like trying to hold on to what happened there. Well, how can you grow from what happened?
So we are encouraging you to please help us keep this history alive.